We also had done it previously with client transport, and again, I think that's a field which must grow. Client transport costs authorities a tremendous amount of money. Some of our taxi drivers were really taking us to the cleaners. And we found that by having Amy, who came along and were doing that for us, they can be tougher, they can deal far more offhand and work, and they did do some really good work. They looked at the, Amy's laughing over there, and they were able to make better use of the bus routes, and they've done a tremendous job. Really pleased with them too. So we're leading the whole county council as a commissioner of services. I must say I do have a problem with some of my cabinet members sometimes trying to defend their officers and saying, well, we'll just have a look and perhaps we won't do it. And being very, you've got to really go for this procurement if it's going to work. So there you can see what we've now created. We have the strategic client in the middle, which is us, which is thin and thinner. And we have Amy on one side doing our client transport, and we have Ringway Jacobs on the other side, and we all live together in a little house. We'll see it in a minute. Then this is what we're achieving. So there's our lovely, beautiful, which is, I think it was in one television programme where somebody said it should be knocked down, but it's not as easy to do. We live up on the 8th and 9th floors, and we really do co-locate. So you have BCC staff, Amy staff, and Ringway Jacobs staffs all working together. We've had a few chill-out lunchtimes to get people. At first they didn't talk to each other, but now they jolly well are. So it's working. And look what we've achieved. So we've achieved those efficiency savings of 3.1 million. Our target was 7.5. So if you're good at maths, that's more like 14% savings instead of 7.5. That did include 1.3 million staff savings, and most of those savings were senior management. They were also our contractor. We used to have Fitzpatrick, which stayed with Fitzpatrick, and Jacobs kept a lot of their managers back. So the actual effect on BCC staff was minimal. We're hoping, and we have been making annual efficiency targets of 3.5%. We have a 8-year contract, which with a breakout clause, and then on to 15 years. So it's a marriage for life. If we get the 8-year itch, we'll see. The capital efficiency savings have been achieved beyond target. The overheads were very much saved by co-locating at County Hall. There was an idea at one time to have this wonderful green, efficient transport building, but we soon realised that would cost too much, and in fact, it wouldn't have been such a good idea. We have made process cost savings by having this single operating system. And as I said, client transport efficiency savings have saved 2 million, which is beyond what we thought. And that's in a time of increased inflation, particularly in that side of the industry. So if you see what we actually did with those efficiency savings, you remember we were going to level out at 2008-9. Look how we've gone beyond that. And that really is something I'm very proud of. We have made savings in delivery on the ground. We have talked about those holes in the road. And self-delivery by Ringway Jacobs has helped tremendously. So we've had 25% more work done with the same cost, which is always good, particularly when those holes in the road, which I'm not going to give them their proper name, keep coming up and are the curse of everybody's life. But we are working on them. We have got a flexible workforce because we can reach back to their resources, Ringway Jacobs can, and they've actually, when we started having all the district councils twittering about the grass cutting, Ringway Jacobs came in, we asked them to take that on as an extra thing, and of course we can use those guys to help with our winter maintenance in the winter. So what about the staff? Well, you do have problems with the staff at first, and some of them were very iffy. We got them to speak to the various contractors who came in wanting our procurement. They liked some, they didn't like others, they didn't want to be stupid across, they did want to be stupid across. We gave them a lot of love and care, and we had a lot of roadshows, so we kept them on side and explained to them, answered their hard questions right from the beginning, so they felt more and more confident. And now, even now we do, as time goes on, we've had to restructure. We've lost only a couple of staff actually by compulsory redundancies, which I think is really good. We celebrate success monthly, and we do find successes every month from somewhere. And our staff sickness rate is improving, which I think is an indication of staff satisfaction. It's much, much better than the council average. Within TFB, of course, the staff themselves have opportunities because they can go and work in Scotland or London, and they can move across and get other opportunities, which is good, and they are encouraged to do more training. And recently we had this dreadful thing, the EFQM rating, which we were all interviewed, the senior managers were, myself included, about how management work processes are going on and how it's all getting together. The only disadvantage is that at the end the staff didn't quite know who was in charge, whether it was me, my head of service or the head of operations, but I think we can live with that. So I think this came up this morning when we were talking about London, in some of the things the private sector innovation does. And it's all about information. I've learnt to say, sorry, you're going to have some roadworks, but in the end, it will go and it will get better. Sorry, there is snow, but we're trying to grit it. And this Service Information Centre really is a way of telling our residents what's happening, how it's happening, when it's happening, and when the winter comes and we have the gritters, you can actually plot where the gritters are around. We found this a much more efficient way of public contact. I think people have got fed up with call centres, and you can see, if you see the purple line, that's our call centre calls. And as the Service Information Centre kicked in, and no clues for guessing why December 10 had a high amount of calls, but and hits on our Service Information Centre, but we're really pleased it happened. And we've had a lot of good feedback from it, and we're even getting so modern that we're going to have an app on Bucks on those people who are fortunate enough to have an iPad, an iPlayer. These are some of the comments we've had from the public. They're a bit snow-orientated, but as we know, we only hear from the public when something's gone wrong. But this is the good news, and how they really, really want to be informed. It's all about communication. I'm sure it is. And when I've had some difficult people, I've always found if I ring them up and talk to them, it's much better than writing lots and lots of letters, although I don't ring everybody up, obviously. Where we're going to next, it's all about the big society now, which is make it up as you go along, I think. But we're doing our bit. We started with the snow clearance, and the minister then saying that they could clear their own snow, but that seemed ridiculous that we had to go through all that. But we got a clear steer there. We're trying to devolve more services to parish and town councils, and that's working quite well, where, again, our Ringway Jacobs local area technicians work very closely with our Transport for Buckinghamshire, sorry, we're called, work with the local parishes to have their men on the spot cleaning signs and clearing overgrown paths, and that's good. So we want to encourage that more and more. Obviously, there's always an issue with buses and our diminishing bus sums of money that we have, but we are encouraging local communities to run their own buses, and I'm hoping that's going to get really, really grow. It's doing quite well. So there we are. We do believe in the Highways Maintenance and Efficiency Programme in Buckinghamshire, and in fact we're leading the Client Transport and Governance Workstream, and we're really happy to share our experiences with any of you who want to talk to us and come to see us. Thank you.